TBS News, I'm Rosine Park. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency has reported 2,482 new coronavirus cases and 24 additional virus-related fatalities. The agency noted the number of deaths confirmed in the past 24 hours marked the highest daily toll since July, when the fourth wave of COVID-19 hit South Korea. The greater Seoul area, including Incheon and the surrounding Gyeonggi Province, remain the biggest virus hotspot, accounting for over 1,900 of the latest infections. More than 75% of all South Koreans have so far been fully vaccinated against the virus, and 80% have received first shots. However, officials said more than 70% of new COVID patients have not been vaccinated, with 24% of them in their teens. Health authorities earlier warned the virus curve could rise further following the Halloween weekend and as nightlife districts reopen amid eased antivirus curbs under the government's Living with COVID-19 plan that kicked off this week. The government is launching on Thursday a 2-week quarantine inspection of over 300 preparatory academies nationwide ahead of the National College Entrance Exam, which is scheduled for later this month. The Education Ministry said it will check whether the cram schools are properly following COVID prevention measures to keep students safe. The College Scholastic Aptitude Test, or Sunung, is scheduled to be held on November 18th. The ministry said it will also work with local governments to inspect quarantine conditions at facilities where students frequent, including PC rooms, singing rooms, and study cafes. In other news, carbon emissions around the world are set to rebound this year to levels last seen before the coronavirus pandemic, according to new scientific study. Much of it is from China. The Global Carbon Budget Report suggests a window is closing for countries to avert dangerous climate change unless ambitious goals to cut emissions are achieved. The BBC's Paul Rincon reports.
Some important deals have been struck at the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow this week on limiting emissions of methane and on curbing deforestation. But they're happening against the background of a sharp increase in greenhouse gas emissions. A report by climate scientists found that carbon dioxide releases this year will rise by almost the same amount they fell by in 2020, when countries locked down for the pandemic. The findings pose a challenge for efforts to limit global warming to 1.5 Celsius, the threshold for dangerous climate change. If we continue as we are, the experts say, we could exceed that limit in 11 years.
South Korea and Hungary have agreed to upgrade their relations to a strategic partnership. President Moon Jae-in and his Hungarian counterpart made the announcement after their meeting in Budapest. In a joint press conference after the talks, Moon noted that bilateral trade reached a new high last year despite the pandemic. The two leaders also agreed to expand forward-looking cooperation in the fields of economy, science, technology, and culture. The summit came a day after Moon arrived in the country for a state visit. He is the first South Korean president to visit Hungary in 20 years. That's all the news for now. You're listening to TBS eFM.